Man, my typing's really slow, but does it really matter? In today's video, I'm going over 4 things that can help you decide if typing really matters in Roblox Studio programming. So let's get right into it. And the first thing on my list is the Intellisense in Roblox Studio. If you don't know what Intellisense is, it's a feature that is built into Roblox Studio, and it helps like developers with their code writing. Stuff like auto completion and parameter information, and it can help you out. So what I'm saying here is the very first thing, this pops up for you guys when you're programming. When you say local, there's an auto completion thing that says local and load string. If I wanted to type local, I could press enter and I wouldn't have to type out the whole word. This is for stuff like keywords. But if I were to say replicated first, I would actually have to type that out. Now I'll get into a solution for this in a bit, but this works for auto-completing services and stuff like that. So a part of it that can help you type code faster and get things done is by using the Intellisense in Roblox Studio and the auto-completion feature. Like there's function, so local function, just like that. With in a few milliseconds, about a second, I typed local function just by doing that. If you're wondering how I'm actually doing this, by auto completing when I say local or like say function, when you have when the blue bar is over that object, you can press enter and then it auto completes it for you. So that helps with some of the auto completion. It auto completes some of the keywords and Lua and in Roblox services, but that fixes part of the problem. What are some other things we can do? Well, if you guys may notice, when we have our variables up here, that means we can use it again by just saying replicated storage. We can go down with an arrow key, like go down and then press enter, and we have replicated storage. So my next topic is using variables at all times, because variables will pop up in the auto completion and Roblox when you have that. So I don't have to say we don't have these variables, okay? We don't have these variables and I wanted to get the replicated storage. Well, if you're not a very fast typer, say you're about this speed, replicated storage, mind you, we do not know about auto completion, but there's still, well, you may know about it. So it's like game.replicated storage dot whatever. But using variables, even though this was kind of quick to write, or I mean type, the variables can still save you time if we just get the replicated storage. If we're using it multiple times, then it's replicated storage, replicated storage, replicated storage, replicated storage. Now imagine we try to do game.replicated storage dot whatever 3 times. So that is the other thing I'm talking about here, is using variables at all times to capture stuff, as well if you're using things later, but to also save time. Because let's say you're, again, typing a variable, replicated storage, or a really long service. Replicated storage is pretty long. Starter player scripts, okay? Starter player scripts. Well, we have that, and we are going to get game starter player scripts. Instead, if we didn't have that variable, we would have to say game. Now this is like really helpful for stuff like starter player scripts, because starter player scripts and starter character scripts is in starter player. So before you can even get starter player scripts, you have to go through starter player first. So game.starter player scripts. We could save all that time of all this unnecessary stuff by just making a variable and immediately getting it just like that. Now the next thing I'd like to talk about is simplifying your code and not making things too complex when naming stuff and stuff like variables. When we make a function, you want to make that function as simple as possible so you can type it as soon as possible. And you also want to get to the point in your names so you can look at it and be like, that I know what that does compared to this. If you make stuff too similar, you'll get it mixed up and again cause issues. So what I'm trying to get at here is you want to simplify your stuff again, because if you're making a wacky name for a variable or a function and you try to get that, it will take a lot longer. So you have a whole bunch of underscores or something, like you're just insane human being. I don't even know why you would want to do this. Like, I don't even know, dude. But you can still go down here and get this, but that still takes time. Still can take a decent amount of time compared if you were just to simplify your stuff, use correct capitalizing in your names, and it would make things so much easier. So simplify your stuff, name stuff that you will remember and that you will understand compared to other things so you don't get confused when you're making your code. And now the last thing I would like to go over is the extra kind of section, extra options. And what I'm talking about here is plugins. Most specifically, this plugin right here by Sleetnik, require autocomplete. It does cost money, 200 Robux. There might be some other ones, but I'll show you guys that this solves that problem that I had at the beginning of the video. If you were a slow typer and you had to type out something like replicated storage, but I actually had to type it out, if you know what I mean, this solves that to a whole nother degree. Now there might be other, as I said, other ones like this. I don't really know, but this one is really good, so I want to show you guys this one. Alright, if you want to save a whole bunch of time with using that plugin and all that stuff, if you're just a simple, basic typer, we'll go replicated storage and at a slower pace, game.replicated storage, there we go. Now say, if you weren't as a faster typer, but with this plugin, you can have a colon, oh, you guys can't see this, but colon, and then I can get replicated storage. And look at that. As soon as I can just say a colon, R-E-P, R-E, R-E, I have to press 3 keys, maybe 4, just to get replicated storage. I can press enter, and I have replicated storage. This plugin saves a whole bunch of time, probably because that's why, that's why it's 200 Robux. But this also works for module scripts and anything, something like that, stuff like that. So I have replicated storage. Oh, let's get starter player scripts. Starter player. The starter player. I don't know if it can get starter player scripts, but that's not very hard. You already have starter player. So starter player scripts. Starter player. Starter player dot starter player scripts. There we go. But as I was saying about module scripts, is let's say I have a module script, module script and replicated storage. Okay, so here's our module script, and I'm gonna call it, I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm gonna say colon M, and as I just put M, there's our module script. I can press enter, and the really cool thing about it is it automatically gets the replicated storage, and then it gets the module script. So useful. Recommend if you guys can afford it. If you want to save a whole bunch of time, even if you're a fast typer, this saves a whole bunch of time. I actually recommend it a whole bunch. And yeah, guys, that was today's video. To help you guys with all these methods, or you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.